You are a free soul. I am a free soul. The true about you is that you are free. You live in places that are above. And I say above because, it's a good way to understand it, but they are everywhere. It's not just above and below, so above, so below. Yeah, but these places occupies grander and larger areas. That's where you and I live. That's home. While we're here on earth, we're experiencing what's called amnesia. We came here to experience something that we are not. And you are starting to realize that there is a lot more to you, that your powers have been shackled, that your ability to fly, literally fly, has been tamed. By the end of this video, I hope that I encourage you and that I give you some tools for you to elevate, to fly, right? You are here because you want to fly. You probably heard this experience before that I had, but I was out the body. And I was at this place and I was creating a little bowl of earth, like element. I was putting different elements in it, and I had dug something. Like I was squatting down, working on that, and there were other beings around me watching me do this. And I remember before that scene, I was flying among trees, like in a beautiful forest. I was just flying super fast and cool. It was like I was Superman almost, right? As I'm flying through these trees, I start going up, and I could look at this place where I was sat down there. And as I'm thinking, then I said, I'm high up here. If I stop believing, I'll fall. And the moment that thought came to my mind, I started like tumbling down until I was back in my body in bed, and I wanted to experience that again. So I laid down, and next scene, again in the same place, and that's where I was creating this little bowl of mud, and it was kind of like, by the time I was done, it looked like an earth. It looked like something similar to a planet, and it had motion. It was almost like a snowball, but alive. And so I know you heard this story before, but if you haven't, so one of the guys that was there sitting with me or watching me do that, he said he wanted one. So I invited him up to my house, the place where I stayed, and he's walking with me, and I'm telling him the story that I just told you, how I was flying and how I was falling down, and he wasn't believing me. I felt like that he thought it was bullcrap what I was saying. Anyway, so I give him a drink when we're in our house. I give him a drink. I remember giving him a drink in a glass. He took his little ball. I had a bunch of them, and I took one and gave it to him, and he was very happy. As he's going down, I see him. He started like almost like levitating, like taking those steps like without gravity, like long steps, and I'm like, fly, fly. I started screaming at him. He was going down the hill from my house, and he just took off flying, and I followed him, and I flew right with him. That sounds like an awesome dream, but I know that that's another place that I inhabit, and you too inhabit those places. The goal for me making this video and all the videos that I make is that together work on finding our freedoms, right? So imagine how cool would it be that right on this earth you could go like this and close your eyes and just take off and go and visit anywhere that you want to. Well, you could do that. You could do that. And I'm sure that by the time I'm old, that I'm all wrinkly and old and I'm making these videos, we all will be doing that. And there'll be no need for these videos because all of our dormant abilities will be heightened. We'll have access to them. And that really is my hope. And that's the reason BamHekTV exists, so that we can help each other grow to that sense. Today, I'm going to talk about flying. I'm going to talk about elevating to the point where gravity doesn't hold you down. What is gravity in relation to this video? Gravity is a force that held you stuck to earth, that pull all your skeletal structure down, all your muscles down, that pull every ability that you had to move, it pulled it down and it made you move slower, right? Why do you not run super fast? Because of gravity. Why can't you fly? Because of gravity. And obviously gravity serves us while we're here on earth. It's part of the laws of physics on earth. In relation to this video, we're going to see gravity as a limitation. We're going to see gravity as a limitation. Think about the things that you want to do, right? The things that you always wanted to do. Whatever that may be. Have the courage to face life, to speak up your mind. Have the courage to follow a new endeavor. Have the strength to stand up for yourself. Have the money to make all the decisions that you want to make, right? Think about the things that you have been limited to do, right? And that's going to be gravity. Not the thing that you want to do, but the obstacle that you place in the way of attaining that, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take every single one of those limitations that we have put in front of ourselves, and we're going to look at them as a hurdle. When you skip a hurdle, right, you are defying gravity. You are not defying gravity, but you're going against that force. You're jumping to pass that hurdle. How do we defy gravity? How do we become and how do we act so powerful that not even the laws of physics can hold us down? In my opinion, through my experience, what's worked is, I don't want to say ignoring it, because that's not the way my process works. In fact, the laws for this experience, right? You can't ignore them, right? You cannot ignore what's in front of you. You can't ignore gravity. If you ignore gravity and you jump from a building, what's going to happen? You die, right? So it's not the fact that we're ignoring what's here, it's that we learn how to step over it, right? Using my example, I always wanted to make friends. When I was a kid, I was always very curious. I would get in people's face and I would ask questions and I wanted to be in their business, and I didn't mean no wrong. I really didn't. I just wanted to make friends. I wanted to relate with them. I wanted to hang out with me. But for some reason, people didn't understand me, and they thought I was a pest. I was a pain in the butt. I was all in their face. I always wanted to follow them, and I was always like friendly in people's face, and that was not very well accepted. So what I did is like I began as a child to rebel almost. Any person that would shun me or treat me less than, I would be more in their face. I really make myself known, like I'm still here, though you don't want me here. And that happened a lot in school, because I was a distraction. I was done with my work pretty quick, and I wanted to play with the other kids or whatever, and the teachers didn't like that. So I focused on pretty much making the teacher uncomfortable. That type of behavior brought me a lot of heartache. By the time I was 12, 13, I was already hanging out with the wrong crowd, the people that accept you for being a knucklehead. That brought a lot of different limitations that I put in my own mind in pursuing more healthy relationships, to the point that today my circle, you can count it with one hand, if that. So I became, and I'm not antisocial whatsoever. When I'm out there, I talk to anyone and everyone. But that secludedness, right, put me in a place where it was hard for me to find my voice, right? It was hard for me to express the way that I felt about something, right? This channel specifically, you seeing me talking here, it's the result of me ignoring gravity. Not ignoring gravity, but going above the laws that I had set in my mind, the obstacles that I had set on my mind to having a voice. What is it that you need to move past? What is it in your story that you haven't been able to move past. Take your time. There's nothing more powerful than a pen or a piece of paper and a pencil. Why? Because when you take the thought out of your mind and you write it down and you write it and you read it and you break it down, when you take it out of here, it works also with speaking, talking to other people. But if there's no one available to you, grab a piece of paper and write it down. Not the obstacle, not yet. First, write down what it is that you want, what it is that you want to do. Man, I want to take deep breaths and enjoy peace of mind without having to think about X, Y, or Z, or without having to face X, Y, or Z, this limitation or that limitation, right? Write it down. Write the optimal situation for your life moving forward in different roles that you play. So as a parent, let's go again to the, go back to all my videos, most of them. It's always something about doing an inventory, searching who you are today. Where do I stand today, right? And how do I move past that gravity? How do I fly? How do I elevate past that challenge, that hurdle? You have all the answers within you with a little introspection and a little connection. Connect to me, connect to other beings that already see it for you. Connect with the future version of you, the past version of you that always lives here within your space. Connect with that and ask for that guidance. It's not separate from you, it's you. Ask for that guidance. Ask yourself, guide me into what it is that I really want, what it is that I came here to do. How have I limited my own voice from coming out? It's time to fly, my friend. It's time to leave the self-imposed limitations behind. Experience yourself. Yeah, you came here to experience that which you are not. But it's enough of that. It's enough of that for you, for me, for the whole experiment. The whole experiment already experienced everything that was to be experienced. Maybe not. Maybe you need to experience a little more pain, a little more heartache, a little more whatever. But if you want to, begin controlling your environment to serve you. See the life of those you love transformed by your example. See the relationships that once were severed, restored. See the love pouring out of you unimpeded, without any constraints. See the abundance available to you in this earth flowing to you. If you want to see all that, it's time to fly. It's time to take this gravity, this force that holds you back, which lives inside your brain, and start taking it apart piece by piece. It's not an overnight process. Miracles happen. I'm a testament of that. You can enter a space in your life that'll change you, and everyone around you forever. I've been into those spaces. Those spaces have changed my life, and they could do it for you too. But it takes a little awareness. It takes you deciding to look into it. Not ignore it. Not ignore it anymore, but look into it. I can't stress it enough. I do it. Every time I face, I'm not better than anybody. Please don't get me wrong. I'm on earth with you. So I have to deal with people all the time. I have to deal with clients. I have to deal with friends. I have to deal with children, spouse, money, you name it. So what I'm talking about are things that I do. Take, and I'm not the deep. I'm not the deepest thinker. You know, I'm not. It's not like I act a lot before I really plan stuff. But when there is a strong surge of emotion, right? When there is a strong pull in my life that is making me feel inside, which is my guiding system. That's why the emotions are there. I stop. Not all the time. Most of the time now, but not all the time. But for things that really matter, I think about, how do I want to feel about this situation? Why am I feeling like this about this situation? And how do I get there? How do you get there? That's the first step. Break it down into pieces. Grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, preferably a pencil or a pen, it doesn't matter. But break it down. Pros and cons. What's the pro of me feeling like this? What's the con of me feeling like this? Strength and weaknesses. What's the strength of this thought? How is this thought not strong enough to support my well-being? I have this person who is very close to my heart. And she, such a beautiful person, such a big heart. But she cemented her mind so strong on her way of thinking that most of her beautiful attributes I don't get to see, and the people around her don't get to see him as much. First of all, very secluded person, don't put themselves out there for people to experience them. That's her prerogative. But come on, you got so much to offer, lady. I see it all over you, but because you are so stuck in your way of thinking, you don't get to experience me, the full me, and I don't get to experience you. How much that sucked to you? It sucked to me. There's people that I can't come close to because they're so close in their thinking. So step one, after you write down all this, this patterns of thinking, because that's what's going to show up in that piece of paper. Why do I feel like this about that person? And you can go down the list and you'll see that there is something in your brain that haven't upgraded. It's still very attached. That gravity is pulling it really down to earth. So because you exist in different realms at the same time, they all bleed into each other. The tighter you are stuck to the things that limit you, what's going to happen? The more your life is going to reflect that to you. That's what you're going to see in front of you, right? The things of this earth, the things of realm one, the systems of control, right? That's what's if you stay stuck to the things of this earth, that's what you're going to get. Same here. But when I decide to elevate my thinking, because as you think, you mold the world around you, right? So as you continue to see the patterns, what you're going to want to do next is challenge that thinking with a new action. How do we learn? FAST. It's an acronym. How do you learn? The acronym is going to be FAST in your mind, right? Keep that acronym. How do you learn? FAST. First, you forget about the information that you thought you know about that. And second, you take action about the new information. Third, you study it. And fourth, you teach it. That's how something stays stuck in your brain. So if you want a new thought to stick to your brain, forget about the way you thought about that situation and act in a different way. After you take that action, now you can start studying that action. You don't have to have it all figured out to act. I don't like the way my body looks. So instead of thinking about the way your body look, forget about the way your body look and start acting differently. different things that you always did. Now you study it. You study more about fitness, about diet, about whatever it is, about new discipline, or look, you don't even have to work out or anything. If you take every day, at first, let me clarify that. You don't have to work out at first. At first, you could buy a poster size image of the body that you want and put your face. You could do it online now with AI and all that stuff. Put your face to a great body and look at that image every day and speak about how you feel about you looking like that every day. I promise you, you'll start eating better. You start going out, working out, because action follows creation. It's not the other way around. You create something and then the action follows what you already created outside of the physical. Right? So in order for us to elevate, to fly, right? In order for us to take off and fly, we need to see where we stand. We need to look at the shackles that we have picked up along the way that tell you that you're not good enough, that you, whatever it is. I don't want to go over the shackles. You know your own patterns of thinking. And then for 1 second, forget about it. Forget about it. Like for 1 second, stop thinking about the limiting belief. That's the miracle. In the middle of that thought, if you are able to recognize that thought and stop it right in the middle of the thought, that's when the miracle happens. You're going to start breaking the connections that your neurons are making, right? The synapses that your little neurons are doing. And they kind of like it's like energy, and they go like, and until you think about it so much that the neurons link together, right? But the way to break that is you take this thinking and you in the middle of thinking about it, you stop and you think differently. So that takes strength away from that pattern of thought. Check out Dr. Joe Dispenza for that. Check him out. The books, they're there. There's books, there's videos. That's the way that you fly. You thought different than you thought before. If you thought the right way, you'll be flying now. Same as me, I'm talking to myself. These videos are me talking to myself about myself and hoping that someone else is going through the same thing and we can elevate together, right? So to recap, forget about, I know it sounds crazy, but that's the miracle. In the midst, let me give you an example. Months ago, my partner and I were in another heated conversation. She got up, she didn't want to talk no more, and she left. That's the way that we have always done. You don't want to hear it? Too bad, you're lost. I would just leave it alone. This day, I'm saying, no, I want to break my patterns of thinking. I don't want to act in the same way. I was just going through it in my own life, making those changes. So I decided to follow her. And I sat next to her and I'm looking at her. I didn't say anything. And she's like, why are you following me? Leave me alone. Why are you trying to bother me? I'm like, no. I want us to continue this conversation because when it becomes uncomfortable, we stop. And we never follow through with the conversation. So I want us to do something different. I want us to continue with the conversation and mold the way that we have always acted. And she walked away. As she was walking away, I said something that I knew was going to bring her back. I did it on purpose because I wanted her to come back. And I said something that I knew was going to hit that nerve. And she came back. I said, look, I said that on purpose so that you come back and don't leave me yet. Let's talk. I don't want to take shots. I just want to move past this destructive pattern of communication. Guess what? That night, we continue to talk, I continue to practice what I'm telling you, the things that I'm preaching right now, the things that I'm sharing with you, a miracle happened that night. Because two people moved past an old pattern of thinking. Since then, that was a while ago. Since then, I noticed how she manages discomfort a lot better. She realized that night that, look, I'm a safe space. I don't want to fight with you. I want you to get it out. That night, she got it out. I learned things about her that I never, ever, ever heard before in 7 or 8 years of relationship. You know? A miracle happened because I decided to act and she decided to act. She decided to act differently. I decided to act differently. Right? That's when the miracle happened. When in the middle of your train of thought, you recognize that thought and you sever it. You even understand what that does to your brain? When you're riding that wave, that feeling, and you go, you chop it. It's like chopping the head off the snake. It's a miracle. A miracle happens, but these patterns of thinking are so attached to our energy, the way we move our energy or our emotions, right? Back to that, right? They're so attached to our emotions that it's so hard to let them go because they control you. Now you have all these neurotransmitters feeding you cortisol or whatever it is that they feeding your body, and now you're addicted to it. You're following it to your detriment. But no, not today. Today we're going to decide to feel these experiences under a different light and allow those feelings to fuel our beautiful future. If no one told you that they love you, I love you. Leave a comment, share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm looking forward to staying in your face because as I grow, as I change, and as I continue to experience this beautiful life and the blessings that I get, I want to share them with you. So if no one told you that they love you today, I love you from the bottom of my heart. I was in my own thinking, right? I was unlovable. I couldn't fly. I had hella limitations. Fly. Decide to leave the past behind. Decide to leave the past behind. Choose to leave the future in the future. And decide that today you will fly. Today you will leave your limitations in oblivion, forgotten. Act on this new information. Do the opposite. If you're thinking this, do the opposite. Oh, I can't take that trip. Take it. I can't get out of this. But do the opposite. I can't start. Start. I can stop. Stop. I'm not vaping anymore. You see me in the interviews hitting the vape. I was completely addicted to the pulling, the puffing. Went from cigarettes, from weed to cigarettes to vaping. And I promise you, I still feel the need to pull, but I don't because I'm regaining my power. I'm flying. I want to fly. I don't want nothing. I don't want to be addicted to nothing. Nothing. It's all an addiction. We have become addicted to a way of feeling, to a way of moving. When in reality, we were created to experience new every day. So fly, my friend. If no one told you today that they love you, I love you. I love you, and I really do. I love you because you're lovable. You're special. You're so beautiful. You're a beautiful person, a beautiful human being. Fly. Let's fly together. I love you.